Hello and welcome to our presentation. We are introducing Study Espresso, which, as a recap, is an app which is catered towards university students in Manchester that supports local businesses to provide students with all the information that they would need in finding a cafe to use as their study spaces. Our aim is to always be inclusive and to allow students to really get the most out of our app. By being able to filter out their preferences, they'd be able to see the availability of cafes and the potential prices to ensure that students on a budget are also able to study and stay there for a while, whilst also really ensuring that they are able to maintain the motivation to keep studying. We differ from other study apps because we wouldn't just be tracking productivity, we would be providing incentives for students to keep going and to keep studying by offering them discounts or freebies or being able to work their way up to potentially a free drink to ensure that they aren't just getting the studying out of the app, it's also the motivation and the incentive to keep going. Some of our competitors are Study Space and Quiet Corner, which differ to us because Study Space is just catered towards University of Manchester students, so we would be ensuring that we are open to all university students in Manchester and really providing them with every source of information that they may want to find the best place that is suited for them. We wouldn't just be, excluding some unis or including some unis. It would be for everybody to be able to use it. So some of our premium features might include a more in-depth record of your productivity and potentially spotting any gaps or giving advice on where to fix things or where to, ensure that they're really getting the most out of it, including having more discounts, possibly including more freebies as well, to really provide them with the motivation that we would hope they would have. This is just an AI template of a more in-depth version of our preview of the app design and layout.
We wanted to hear from university students aged 18 to 21, our key target audience for this company. We wanted to do this to assemble information stemming from our business idea. To do this, we carried out a primary survey which was sent out across Instagram, a prime social media platform that our target audience engage with consistently. Across these 3 to 4 days, we received a wealth of positive and constructive feedback. As shown to the left, we wanted to know how many people would be willing to pay for the premium version of the app so we could begin to calculate a total yearly revenue. £3 to £4 took the majority, with 47.1% of people saying that this would be how much they would pay for the premium. We'd want to look at the possibility of increasing these numbers by adding additional appealing features to the app, such as offline access, multi-device syncing, and no ads. Additionally, 10.5% of students said that they would pay for premium, 68.4% stating maybe, and 21.1% stating that they wouldn't. Tackling these numbers and raising them would be reinforced by the above, upgrading and making our premium features unique and representing good value. However, answers may change depending on when payment for subscription is required. Ideally, we aspire to personalised payments so that students can pay at the start of every month that they receive their student loan, with 47% of students stating that this would be their ideal way of payment to work around their budget. Although targeted primarily at university students, as mentioned in our previous presentation, we would also want to accommodate people that aren't studying, such as people in work or people just wanting to learn how to focus better. This would help us to make money in downtime months, which is stated by MMU 2026 is between May to September, when most students are off for summer or have completed all of their assignments. Making money back is crucial, so how will we do this? As previously discussed, subscriptions would be a vital way of our company making back money. In an American study carried out by David Curry, it was found that in 2023, app subscriptions generated $45.6 billion, inferring that this will be our main target way of making revenue. Additionally, partnerships with other businesses such as uni days and student beans should make a positive financial impact. App subscriptions will provide us with a steady and accurate prediction of our annual turnover, with recurring payments offering us with stability. Over time, numbers will begin to grow and add up. Although we will be required to pay to feature on that app, they will provide us with direct exposure from our target audience, as student beans is mainly for the Gen Z audience. Although it appears we are price cutting by providing students with discounts and for the premium version of our app, our discounts will attract and intrigue the audience. Over time, although the margins are lower, more people will invest, leading to a higher total revenue while keeping students within their budget.
Now, looking at our finances, we came up with projections of how much our revenue and costs would look like within a 12-month period. As a small startup, we would want to build our bank balance first. We would do this through our own pocket, lending from family and friends, and crowdfunding through sites like Kickstarter, aiming for an initial balance of £20,000. This would then cover our first cost. Creating our app, we would use Adalo. They are an AI-focused app host that includes Google Map integration. Including this, we hire a freelance designer and developer to make our app, as well as Google and Apple fees, domain name, and Adalo Pro. This would result in an initial cost of £4,750. £15,250. This would fit our budget, leaving us with £15,250 as a contingency and backup plan. However, our monthly costs would be less, as some costs are one-time payments, and we would be only hiring our developer once per month for maintenance within our app, which would make our monthly cost £797. Looking at our revenue, we would be mainly focusing on our premium feature, which we would be charging for £4 per month. According to the 2026 freemium conversion report, typical freemium to premium conversions range from 3 to 5%. We use a realistic average of 4% rate, and if we were to reach 5,000 users, we would expect 200 premium subscribers. This would then generate us approximately £800 per month. We would also be charging small cafes £10 per month for promotion within our app. As well, with our student bean affiliation, we would be making our monthly revenue to be about £1,160. Looking at our burn rate, this would then be in the negative, meaning that we have profit to reinvest back into the app. Finally, looking at our runway, as we have £15,000 and we spend £797 a month, we would then last 90 months. And as we are only looking at 12-month projections, this shows that our business is viable and can work.
To estimate how well our business will be doing, we will be using the VRIO model. VRIO is a framework that businesses study to be able to analyse whether they have a competitive advantage over other companies. It stands for value, rarity, imitability and organisation. The first one is value, which StudySpresso provides by helping students find the best place to study while also improving their overall experiences. StudySpresso goes further than the apps that already exist but are similar by opening to the general public and not just university students. This adds extra value because it combines productivity with reward and convenience. Next is rarity. StudySpresso is more unique compared to the apps that are already on the market, such as the previously mentioned Quiet Corner. This means that our business stands out by offering a wider range of locations. This makes it more distinctive and increases the rarity in the market. The next is imitability. Since there are already similar apps, it shows that the basic idea of finding a study space can be copied. However, StudySpresso is harder to imitate because of its combination of features such as cafe partnerships and its broader target audience. Building the partnerships with strong brands would take time and is more difficult to copy for competitors. The last point is organisation. The business would have to be well organised so it is able to take advantage of its strengths, such as managing partnerships with cafes and maintaining the app. If this is done effectively, the business will be able to exploit its competitive advantages.
StudySpresso has three main constraints. From a market perspective, students are very price sensitive, with around 70% saying they would avoid paid apps unless the value is clear. So we keep the price low and offer free trials. Operationally, Manchester has over 800 cafes, and because noise levels and seating charts changes constantly, making accurate data is difficult, which is why we focused on Manchester and the main universities to keep our information updated. Technically, features like noise levels or seating availability require sensors, user check-ins or third-party APIs, which can be unreliable early on. So we launched with predicted data and improve accuracy as our user base grows. Finally, if we ever lost money, our recovery plan will be to cut paid marketing, focus on the freemium model, and rely more on user-generated data, reducing costs while still supporting our market and operational constraints.
The primary goal for an MVP for StudySpresso is to create a test hypothesis which would validate assumptions about customer needs and preferences with minimal resources. As this is our prototype to measure our audience engagement and how it meets our customers' needs, we would stay connected with those first involved with our app by keeping a good rapport with them and keeping them engaged with our excitement features. Our excitement features would be food and drink discounts, perks of buying our StudySpresso subscription, but also discounts on that as well, but also prizes and freebies from our data collection services and surveys, but also our long-term users. These WOW features get people talking and increase continued app usage. Our MVP templates would be created on Figma, as it is industry standard and relates to current app template, which are industry expected baselines for us to work upwards from. To reduce time to market, we will launch quickly to start learning from actual user interaction, rather than relying on guesswork to therefore acquire relevant real-time data to help us move quickly and provide the best user experience for our StudySpresso students. We would collect insights from real-time users to inform further development and app growth. This comes in direct reaction from our primary data collected in our student voice primary survey. Using this can show us real-time improvements, but also current successes that work for our app and our target audience. To receive feedback, we would measure surveys, direct occupancy reviews from our partnering cafes, and user and app check-ins by entering them into prize draws such as free food from a cafe or subscription bundles, as these would act as incentives and motivators to then gather feedback. The Canon model helps us with fulfilling our customer needs and optimizing our app performance and success. We simply need to make sure our app works, which would be measured through our live graph feature by monitoring any app crashes. Our performance features would need to be strong and smooth, such as speed and accuracy in terms of monitoring availability of local cafes. The better these are, the happier our users. Measuring app performance involves tracking key metrics like launch time, response time, crash rates, and resource usages, such as the CPU, memory, and battery, which are all elements that we would measure to ensure the app quality is up to its best. And we'll put these into a graph to visually see the data collected over time, as it would track real-time activity. This is a mock example of a sample performance graph created using AI. Additionally, we would measure the app performance and the app downloads when Study Espresso first launches it in Freshers Week for the first 3 universities: Manchester Metropolitan, University of Manchester and Salford University, which are the most popular Manchester universities according to Study In. We would measure the app purchases such as subscriptions, purchases of food and drink via the app, and discounts used through Study Espresso to purchase cafe menu items with our partnering cafes. For a new app launching in the UK using 2026 as the year and the beginning of the month, it brings modest numbers unless backed by significant marketing, which we'll receive from our student beans, our partnering cafes and our universities. Whilst top apps see millions of downloads, the large majority of new apps start with fewer than 1,000 to 5,000 downloads in the first month. An average startup would be about 500 to 1,000 downloads in the first month. Our peak download times would be during times such as Freshers Week at universities, motivating students to download the app with discounts, freebies, etc. And once they've downloaded them in Freshers Week, they would get freebies from our partnering cafes, such as food and drink samples of their popular items to then promote their own goods that they sell, in turn increasing our app popularity whilst building up their Manchester status. Here are the references used in our presentation for Study Espresso.